So, Leon Edwards versus Amir Muhammad, it's a matchup that, I'll be honest, I almost didn't even talk about because, look, we've already watched them fight for about a round and a minute, ish, and during that round and a minute, Amir really struggled to get anything off, and Leon Edwards' last two fights were against guys with a somewhat similar skill set to Amir. Kamaru Usman, I would argue, is essentially a better version of Amir Muhammad, right? They're both bulky, strong wrestlers without any submissions, but Usman has way better boxing. And even with that, Leon still seemed just a step ahead in that area. He was landing really good pull counters, really good uppercuts. He just, I don't know if Leon is the better pure boxer than Kamaru Usman, but he definitely has better timing, better setups, right? So on paper, it's like, how on earth can you wrap your mind around Amir Muhammad somehow winning this fight? And, I'll be honest, yeah, of course, Leon Edwards should be the massive favorite going into this, but I actually do think there is one small, slight aspect of Amir's game that, in theory, could potentially allow him to maybe kind of sort of make this fight a little closer than people are anticipating it to be. Can you see I'm fucking grasping at straws here? Because I can see it. I'm grasping at straws. But anyway, what was I saying? Something about Amir Muhammad. Amir Muhammad, he gets a lot of hate, and I think a lot of people think he's overhated. And I would agree with such a sentiment. I feel like hate is a very strong word when looking at Amir. I just think the main reason people have some disdain for him is the fact that, there is potential that he will be the champion of the 170-pound weight class. And I don't know what I would do if that became the case. I really don't know what I would do because I don't want to be mean here. I don't want to be a guy that just recklessly hates on Amir for no reason, but there's just not a lot of substance to the man. You know what I mean? I mean, just look at him, right? There's not much there. There's just, I'm already running out of things to say. I am already fresh out of things to say about the guy, and his fight style is no better. As I mentioned before, he's a wrestler who has just really no ability to actually finish a fight. He just doesn't. Now, he has finished Sean Brady, but that stemmed from the fact that they're both grapplers, and I would say Amir's number one skill set, the best attribute of his game, is his takedown defense. He is, clearly very physically strong. He's bulky, and I attribute that to steroid use, personally. And, I'm not hating on the guy, but you just look at the before and afters from when he first got into the UFC and now, and clearly you're looking at a man who has gone through puberty twice. And that's not normal, right? Now, this is all my opinion, of course, but I'm not hating, but, he is very physically strong, and his takedown defense is insane, and Sean Brady primarily relies on his jiu-jitsu. Now, his jiu-jitsu is really, really good, but he just couldn't impose it on Belal. He couldn't take him down, and Belal was just walking him down, getting right in his face, because of the constant pressure, and because of Sean Brady's lack of an ability to get him off of him with any kind of a strike. Amir broke him down and was able to get the TKO finish on the feet. So look, of course, Amir is capable of maybe potentially ending a fight, but is he capable of ending this fight against Leon Edwards? No. Fuck no. There is absolutely no way. I don't know how he can do it. I mean, I've discussed before in depth on the channel, and this is kind of a broader concept with the wrestling and MMA in general, is that, before, all it took was a wrestler to get a hold of a striker, and then all of a sudden he was getting taken down, and that was going to be the entire fight. That's not the case anymore. Leon Edwards has phenomenal takedown defense. He has very good wrestling himself. He has very good get-ups from the bottom. And at the end of the day, in order to set up really good takedowns, which you're going to have to do against Leon, it's not as simple as just get a hold of him. Amir is going to have to set up a really good shot. Now, the issue is, as far as managing distance, maintaining distance, closing distance, strikers are way better at that than wrestlers are. And when you look at Leon Edwards' last fight against Colby Covington, the reason why Colby Covington could not get anything off, the reason why he was struggling shooting takedowns was because Leon was just controlling the center. He was pressuring Colby, putting him on the back foot, and then just holding the center. And Colby had no ability to make Leon respect his strikes. And because of that, he couldn't set up any shots, and he got picked apart really badly. But, you know, I will say, you look at Amir's fight against Vicente Luque, and this is exactly what Luque was attempting to do. Put him on the back foot, make him walk back, get his back up against the fence where it's really difficult to wrestle, but that did not stop Amir from hitting double legs, driving him across the octagon, and putting him down, and eventually winning the fight. Now, here's the big thing, though. The reason why those takedowns opened up despite being on the back foot was that Luque, he wasn't doing what Leon did, which was hold the center. Luque was literally marching at him. Right? He got way too close, and because of that, Amir was able to get to his legs very, very easily. You know, you parallel that to Leon, and Leon was not closing distance that recklessly. He was holding the center. I mean, I think that was the big difference. And when you look at his fight against Amir, for as long as it lasted, this is what we saw. Amir was on the back foot, and Leon was not running in to any takedowns. He was maintaining the distance well, setting up good shots, even landed a right hand to high kick, just like he did against Usman. He had Amir rocked. And, you know, I will say another underrated aspect of Amir's game, though, is his striking defense. I mean, it is very, very good, and I think the main attribute, the reason why it's so good is the fact that he's never overextending on shots. He stays very defensively sound. He covers up well. He's not moving in recklessly with strikes, and, you know, because of that, he can be difficult to hit, and he's not putting himself in danger of getting countered and getting cracked badly, like, i.e. Aljamain Sterling did against Sean O'Malley. Now, of course, this has led to him getting more decisions because he doesn't take very many risks, but it also allows him to win fights because, as we know, he's not an amazing striker by any means. And, you know, well, okay. With all that laid out, what is the difference between Amir and Usman, okay? What is the difference? Well, the big difference is Kamaru Usman cannot shoot double legs because his knees are so ungodly fucked, right? You know, Joe Rogan could not shut up about the fact that Usman has to walk on the grass next to the concrete. He has to walk upstairs backwards because he's got absolutely no cartilage in his knees. He's like Batman from The Dark Knight Rises, right? And because of that, he had to rely on single legs primarily or just pushing Leon up against the fence. But Amir, no, Amir will drop down to his knees and he will get low on these double legs, which in theory would be a lot easier to finish on Leon, right? Now, even then though, could he hold Leon down? Well, a position Amir ends up in a lot is having a guy up against the fence and leg riding him, which is great. It makes it very difficult to get back up, but this is also a position that Kamaru Usman had Leon in a ton of times, and Leon did an amazing job swimming his leg back in, beating that hook, and then standing back up. So, you know, I just don't see how Amir Muhammad can win this fight. I'll be honest, I don't see how. I think that being able to shoot the double leg how he does will allow him to get deeper on takedowns than Kamaru Usman was able to. I think him being so much bulkier and stronger than Colby Covington will help him get on the inside a bit easier, maybe pressure Leon back at some points with the right game plan. But God help us if Amir Muhammad genuinely becomes our champion. God help us. I don't know what I would do. I mean, I really don't. I would be in shambles. I would be in utter shambles. I mean, that would be an absolute disgrace. You know what I mean? And I'm saying this with all due respect. Amir is not a bad fighter, but there's just nothing to the guy. You know what I mean? There is nothing to the man. I mean, just look at him. I guess the most interesting thing I would say about him was that, you know, it looks like if you split him in half, you got two completely different people. You know what I mean? Like, he is the least symmetrical person I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, but other than that, what? Like, what is spectacular about this guy? There's nothing. I mean, at least with a lot of foreign Muslim fighters these days, which Belal Muhammad is a Muslim fighter, because they have the accent, because they don't really speak English that well, they're kind of mysterious, I guess. But you hear Belal Muhammad talk, and he's just like the average American, essentially. You know what I mean? There's absolutely nothing. I am again running out of things to say. Okay, and I guess that's it. I guess that is all I have to say for this video.